So, you got a little extra money on hand and you're looking to buy a semi-automatic 308. Maybe you're looking to buy a SCAR. Excellent choice. Or an AR10. Also a great choice. But the age-old question is, what is a better use of your money? We know that the SCAR, hands down, is more expensive, but is it justified? Today, we are putting these Titans head to head to find out which one is the bang for your buck. Now, let's get down to it. I just did a full review on the SCAR. If you want to see that, the link is in the description below. Let's compare some specs just to recap. This is a 16-inch barrel. The gun is about 36 inches long and right at about 8 pounds. What we have here is a Daniel Defense DD5V4. 18-inch barrel, about 8.5 pounds, so close, and right at about 3 feet, just like the SCAR. These guns are very similar, but the SCAR sits at around $3,000 to $4,000, really $3,200 to about $4,000. Now, this is a tricked out Daniel Defense. You could definitely get an AR10 that's a lot less expensive, but this sits at about $2,200 to $3,000 at the top end. So really, you're looking at least about $1,000 more for the SCAR, and that's why we're putting these head to head today. The first thing I want to do with the AR10 is test recoil management. Here's a clip from the SCAR video of us testing it. Woo! All right, now let's see how the Daniel Defense AR10 stacks up to the SCAR with recoil management. AR10, one-handed. Woo! Sun gun is heavy. Man, it's a little bit heavier, about ½ a pound heavier than the SCAR. A little harder to hold one-handed. Let's compare the two side by side, see how that looks. Obviously, it doesn't really mean much, but it just shows how does this gun handle the recoil? How much is that barrel jumping? All right, next test. I'm gonna hold the stock away from my shoulder. And I'm not gonna touch my cheek to the gun like I normally would. Okay, now good grip. Tight to my arm, elbow down, cheek tight on the stock. I can definitely feel that this gun has more recoil than the SCAR, hands down. Shooting it one hand is harder. I feel like it's kicking back into me more and the barrel's wanting to jump. Let me try that with another mag. All right, I'm gonna just mag dump this and let's see how the barrel hop compares to the SCAR. I'm on target, but man, I'm using a lot of force. I'm holding this gun down. You can feel it wanting to jump. I feel like, honestly, the gas management on the SCAR, it almost feels like it's a suppressor, how it's just dealing with that gas. It's shooting it all out the side. When you shoot the SCAR, Derek, behind the camera, he's like, dude, that is such a powerful gun. It just blasts gas out the side of the gun. I think that's why the recoil is better on the SCAR, because you can feel it just forcing out all those gases. This feels like it's coming out more at the end of the barrel. So I'm having to hold this down and keep it from hopping. Yeah, and honestly, what I want to do, I want to run the SCAR right now that I've just felt like this. I think maybe I'll load like 5 in here, 5 in the Scar, and we'll just do it literally like back to back. Okay, 5 rounds rapid fire with the AR10. Next up is the Scar. 5 rounds rapid fire. Oh my God. That is so crazy. Okay, that is really the first time that I've shot these guns like right next to each other. The Scar objectively handles recoil better. Now, I need to preface this. I'm not a ballistics expert. I'm not a firearms expert. All I can talk about is user experience. This, to me, is very clear cut. Can you get the job done with the Daniel Defense? Yes, but I just feel like I'm fighting it. The Scar is pushing back on me. The Daniels is firing up more in the air. So I can say, without a doubt, the Scar, as far as recoil goes, is the better choice. Just like in the Scar review video, I'm doing a first-person view of operating, handling, and maneuvering with the AR10. Go watch the Scar video if you haven't. I'm gonna take the same exact path that I did in that video with the AR10. So, like I said before, the charging handle is at the back, which to me is much more of a stretch. If you're up here and you need to come all the way back rather than just pulling that bolt back, I think the bolt location on the Scar is supreme. But what I like about this AR10 is the bolt catch. Like I said with the Scar, you can pull it back and just press this to catch the bolt. It's on both sides, so I can pull back the bolt and catch it right there, and now it's open. And the other thing is when you have a jam, you have much more strength pulling from here than all the way back here. But let's run a few rounds through this puppy. Ooh, feels nice. All right, I'm gonna walk with it a little bit. I do feel like I have to kind of reset a little bit in between shots. But I mean, that still feels pretty damn good. Nothing to complain about. Let's see. Whew. I mean, man, what's not to like? Honestly, love the gun. As far as AR10 goes, this Daniel Defense is super clean. But I'm a little out of breath. This thing kind of beat me up. It was a little harder for me to walk. I had to kind of really reset after each shot. Again, this is kind of minimal. You know, this, I wouldn't say it's poor performance, but the Scar was easier to handle. Let's get these both together back at the table and we'll get some final thoughts. Okay, at the end, I am going to give my final verdict, but let's really just talk about some specifics in comparing these two. First off, let me say, these are both two amazing pieces. You cannot go wrong with either. I absolutely love both. I think they have their own applications, but there is one that does reign supreme. Okay, first off, recoil management. Definitely the Scar performs better. The AR10 is not bad. This Daniel Defense AR10 is not bad. But I think if you're getting a cheaper AR10, seeing as this was a little tougher on the recoil management side, I think you're gonna just have the dollars that you go down, it's gonna get tougher and tougher. So I would say this is a great backup, but hands down, the Scar performs better when it comes to recoil. There's a few other things. If you remember, my pet peeve on the Scar from the Scar video was the lower is synthetic. On this Daniel Defense, the lower is aluminum. I mean, that's amazing for the price. The other thing, I had to upgrade my grip. This comes with a beautiful grip. It has rubber, there's some texture to it, and it feels great in the hand. Some other things. There's only a Picatinny rail on the top of the AR10, whereas on the Scar, it's on the sides and the bottom. So let's get back into the charging handle. The AR10, like all ARs, the charging handle is on the back, which to me, I've never really liked. Only when getting a Scar and feeling this bolt on the side do I realize how much I really do love it. It's easier to pull back, you have much more power, and really with your front hand, it's a lot closer of a jump going from the side than the very back. All right, now coming down to it, the Scar is at least $1,000 more than a nice AR10. Is it worth it? My answer is hands down, yes. You are going to see a benefit in performance in this gun over the AR10. Now, if you're like, hey, I want a semi-automatic 308 that performs well, but I also want to buy a pistol, you could do that for the same price as just the Scar. There's advantages to that. But comparing these two, overall, hands down, the Scar is better and it is worth the money. All right, y'all, after seeing us put these through the ringer, what are your thoughts? Did I assess these correctly? Is the Scar the better gun? I want to hear from y'all. I would also love to hear from people that own either or both of these. Every comment that comes in, I try to respond. I love interacting with y'all. Please subscribe, because guess what? At 50,000 subs, our truck, the Dodge Ram 1500, also known as Blue, is going bye-bye with 100 pounds of tannerite. That is gonna be awesome. Can't wait for it. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.